that.
Sorry about that, folks.
The old mute trick.
The old mute trick. We just did the entire first 3 minutes of the show on mute, the old mute trick. But we're here with you now. Spencer Israel, Joel Elconin, Dennis Dick, blockchain, the theme of the day. Malin Carter halted, Nike earnings. Kenny Glick is our guest today at 8:35. Joel, how's it going this morning?
Should I play the song again? Or
nah,
you don't want to play the song?
No, let's just
ask
roll
the chat. Chat, do you guys want to hear the song?
Let's just roll with it.
Not? All right. I guess no one wants to hear the song. S&P futures are trading up 0.75 point at 88.50. Your pre-market high, 91.50. Big resistance above this, 96 to 98. A target on the downside, 86.50. That's your pre-market low. Underneath that, I only have minor support until you get to the double bottom from Wednesday and Thursday, right at the 26.80 level. Let's take a look at crude oil futures. Crude oil futures are trading in the red here by 41 cents at 57.95, struggling to get up to that 59.05 high. And gold on this relentless pursuit towards 1,300, up a buck at 1271.60. Silver kind of lagging a little bit, not making it back up to that 16.5 or 17, flat at 16.24. But the big story of the day is Bitcoin, and Bitcoin futures did reach 12,855. I will give you, this is just a few of them. Bitcoin, regular Bitcoins at 13,622.31. And just across the board, these cryptocurrencies are being taken out to the woodshed here. I'm looking at all the big ones, and all the big ones are here deep in the red. Bitcoin down 16%. Ethereum down 19%. Bitcoin Cash down 31%. Ripple, that's down as well. So here you go, Dennis. Have we seen the super extra top here in Bitcoin?
I've said the last couple of days, I think we did top out back when you were texting me on December the 8th when we went parabolic. And, it's been a parabolic rally, but nothing was like that day. And I always say when you're looking at these stocks, you wait for, and that's not a stock, but when you're looking at, I can analyze a chart, like asset, call it whatever you want to call it. But, when something goes parabolic, you wait for upside capitulation. That day, back on December 8th, you were texting me, and Bitcoin went from 15,000 to 16,000 to 17,000 to 18,000. It went from 18,000 to 19,000 in 3 minutes. And then that day topped out 19.5. And we settled that day around like 17 or 18. But that felt like that day was upside capitulation. $5,000 we went up in a matter of a day. I think we went up like $5,000 in a day. I mean, that's an incredible move. So now you've had like 2 weeks. We tried to take that top out a couple of times, like you were saying on some of the exchanges, other exchanges that looked like it touched over $20,000, but we never really got over it. So you kind of had a topping formation. And that's what, we're just talking technically because I can't talk it fundamentally here because I can't crunch numbers for it because I've never been able to really figure out how to value it. I keep coming up with the same number, and I don't know if there is a value, but, there's a value as long as somebody feels there's a value. Right now, they're not feeling as valuable as it was, though. So now you've had 2 weeks of digestion here, trying to, make it high. We got to 18.5 again a couple days ago. But what you've seen is a lot of big names, a lot of big insiders selling. The Litecoin guy sold all of his holdings. It was disclosed last week. You had Bitcoin Jesus selling all of his holdings as well. Now, he was saying he was going a lot to Bitcoin Cash, but again, selling. You've had other prominent players in the industry selling as well. So what you've had is this huge, money, or this huge amount of Bitcoins rotating from the insiders who have been holding, Litecoin from the existence of it to the small retail player, the guys who are, jumping in here. You've had a lot of people coming in, like your barber going to your haircut, talking about it. You've had your waiter talking about Bitcoin. All these people. It was your classic, that's your classic scenario where you get the late guy, the Johnny come lately is all coming in here at the end and buying at the end and actually buying, it looks like at the very top.
And do you think that we bashed it on Tuesday? You think that all the institutions were listening to our special broadcast?
I don't bash it. We had some bulls on the show too, so we were kind of balanced on Tuesday.
I think
I bashed it yesterday. I bashed the hell out of it all. Or when it was my day that I had the rant and I was sick. I was really bashing.
That was on Wednesday.
That was Wednesday. But yeah, so I've been bashing the last couple of days, but I'm not bashing so much Bitcoin. I'm bashing the people who are making the money off this blockchain. But I mean, it got to a ridiculous level when they're buying companies up. You know, if blockchain is this hot that they got to go and buy Long Island iced tea from $2 to $15 in a matter of minutes because they changed their names. That's the mania. The mania is bursting, guys. Like, it's now, if you have somebody come out, you know, and do it today again, it's going to pop a bit. But you're not going to see a 500% pop in that stock. You're going to see a less pop. And it's going to keep, you know, being a less pop until it's just a whimper. And until companies just don't even do it anymore because it's not going to work. So the mania, the air is coming out of the mania very quickly here now. Are we going to see the air come back into it again? Possibly. I don't know. You know, we can't say that. But we have all the classic signs that a top was formed. That's why we were talking, you know, yesterday or a couple of days when we were saying, I think I called out the show on Wednesday. I said, I think Bitcoin topped out. And that was when I was up at 18,000 still.
Bash, Andrew Left. Andrew Left is coming out too, but he's been bearish for quite some time.
And I've not been bullish. Don't kid yourself here. I've been kind of on the sidelines. I stay on the sidelines. I still make no bets on this. So, we've had this wrong. At least I've had this wrong. I should have been buying it at 2,000, you know, when Ace was talking about it in the chat. But I wasn't saying it topped out. I was saying I just don't know how to value it, so I can't jump in it. The first time I really made a call, I was topped out, was 3 days ago when I was analyzing all this and saying, look, this thing cannot make it through highs. If it can't get up over 20,000,
right.
I think maybe on Monday's show I said that. I'm like, if it can't take out those highs, like, it's a trouble. And it tried. For 2 weeks it tried to get up over 20,000. It couldn't do it. So you have at least a near term, a short term, you know, I think a long term top here. I think now, it's something that you taught me too, Joel. Imagine any rally now. Imagine we get a rally here in Bitcoin. You know how many people, how many little guys bought this in the last couple of weeks? That'll be saying, ring the register, you know, or get out, you know, give me my money back. Just please give me my money back. There is now overhead supply. There was none of that 2 weeks ago when it's making all-time highs because no pain. Now the pain trades on all of a sudden. Anybody who bought it above 14,000 to 20,000 is in a world of hurt here right now. They're like, I didn't think this thing is a store of value. How can it go down? I'm down 30% a week. How is this possible? Well, it's possible because you bought into the mania and you were late to the party. Now, is the party going to get started again? Who knows? But right now, this bubble looks like it has officially burst.
Right. And that day that I called you, I mean, there was just no technical. There's just, you know, I think Sean Udall refers to it as his spidey sense. And, you know, your spidey sense can be wrong a lot, too. But it was just the price action, the mania, and the thing is like, I just wanted to sell. Like, I wasn't going to pick a price. I wasn't.
You sold to those.
I just wanted to sell.
Traders too, Joel.
What?
You made all your money, and you're the best Bitcoin trader out of everyone. You were in that for what? You were, you know, on your original position a week, and you doubled your money. You're a genius in Bitcoin. You should be on TV.
It was longer than that.
Not on Benzinga Radio. You should be on CNBC.
I bought on November 16th. I did not receive it in my account.
I like 7,000.
November 22nd, and then I sold on the 8th. So you do it
2 weeks.
Yeah,
you doubled your money.
Yeah. It was fun. It was fun while it lasted.
Oh yeah, that's fun. 2 weeks doubling your money.
All right,
I haven't had a lot of trades. I doubled my money in 2 weeks, Joel. So congratulations. I've made a lot of trades in my trading career. But I don't remember doubling my money. Well, I'm sure there's been one or two in there, but not a lot of trades. I've doubled my money in 2 weeks. So congratulations, buddy.
All right, can we talk stocks? This is
no, we can't yet because we're still on the little banter here about this, and this is fun. So we'll talk stocks. We'll talk the Bitcoin stocks because they are all getting hit here this morning. Obviously, you know, with Bitcoin trading down. But I mean, you got Riot now, and Riot was $40 yesterday morning. And the pre-market is 25 here now. You got the Long Island Iced Tea Company, LTEA, $5.90 here now after being $15 in the pre-market when everybody had to own it and never even got close to the regular session, only got up to $9.49. It's now $5.90. It eventually will be back down to $2 in my opinion, but I don't know if that's going to be today, tomorrow, or next week. I think it'll be before. I think it'll be before. If I gave a 12-month price target, I think we're going to hit $2 well before 12 months out. But that's my opinion on that Long Island Iced Tea. If you're saying, you know, maybe they're changing it all, they're going to use blockchain, it's all going to be going. But I think that was just a pop, and that's obviously been a drop.
Okay, just to bring Sean in ago, I was talking to him a couple days ago, and he did get a short off in Riot. So I don't know if he's covered yet.
Sean, that's you, buddy.
He was what other stock here? I mean, we've talked a lot about Well,
OSTK.
what's that doing? Is that tanking yet?
And look, you know what? The problem with this one's the short interest is so high, so you keep squeezing people on that. But it looks like it topped out too. I mean, it got crazy too, all the way up to $82.70. Now it's 63. I mean, it's easy to say this in hindsight. So, these things of all, you've got the main thing topping out where, Bitcoin looks like it topped out. So now all the other ones you can say, in hindsight's 2020, obviously, but they do. We're just, seeing what we see in the charts. I mean, $63 down another $4 here too. Even Square.
I was just going to mention that.
It's not really a Bitcoin play. It's its own thing.
It went up because of Bitcoin.
There was $5 worth of Bitcoin in there when it went from 45 to 50.
Look at that.
That was all Bitcoin mania.
Dennis, we were talking about that chart 2 days ago. We were talking about that chart.
Yeah, and it's hanging here. It's hanging here. And I'm still going to keep saying, we're in trouble. It was 37. I think this is going to take out that 35 support. This looks like it's really as long as it holds. Okay, so you can still argue there's a little double bottom from the last 2 days, but we're through that pre-market right now. You start getting this through $35. This could be at 33 in a hurry. So I'm concerned on Square as well. Right now, and we've been talking about it too, value stocks have kind of been back in favor here. They've been selling a lot of the higher growth stuff here as of late. That trade still continues a bit. So we'll see. I still like Square as a company. Just when you do the value and the number crunching on that, I like it better in the 20s. So it's not in there yet.
Now, all these that did get a 35.01 print this morning, back up at 35.43. But Dennis, you mentioned that area, that 35.80-90 area, did sneak through it on on Wednesday, but it managed to recover. But one thing when you notice when these stocks hit these lows, the first time Square traded under $36, you had to pop up to nearly 40. And then the second and third time it did that, and only popped to like 38 and change. And then when it hit the 36.52 on Wednesday, it barely got into 37 handle. So this one we're talking about overhead supply, people wanting to get out, and people that bought the bounce, they're like, maybe this bounce ain't working. The same kind of market psychology things that are that have always worked in stocks here are working here in the cryptocurrencies and the cryptocurrency stocks. And I'm trying to hunt down Jeff because I know he's been trying to protect his position here. And after the Bitcoin show, he called me up and he said, Peter Schiff is so good, I'm selling all my Bitcoin. I'm out.
No, is that for real?
He did it. He was just joking though, but he was so convinced by Peter's argument and the way
Peter's he's great at arguing. He's not always right, but man, he can argue a point. You go up against Peter Schiff. I always said when he'd be on CNBC, I'd always feel sorry for the person going against Peter Schiff because man, he can argue. He should have been a lawyer because Peter Schiff can argue you to the death, and he doesn't give up. He'll keep arguing at you. So Peter Schiff's great like that.
Remember when we had him and Ron and Son on?
They had a good war. I think Peter won that one too.
Spencer, I think you were still in junior high when we did that.
Has anybody ever seen Peter Schiff lose an argument? Because he'll just argue you till you die. Like he'd never give up.
Right.
The guy's energy. He's got so much energy there when he's saying his points. He makes good points. This guy's a smart guy.
And
although he's been wrong with his gold call for a lot of years.
Joe Saluzzi made some valid points, and Professor Jim Angel.
I thought Professor Jim Angel was the best, to be honest with you, because he gave me some stuff that I'd never thought of before. Like he had researched the energy stuff behind it all. He talked about how it's going to go out with a whimper and not a burst, which it kind of has the last couple of weeks. It's been this little whimper, this little leak. So it's interesting, Jim Angel actually, has been that was a very good interview as well. That was just a great show.
And I think what's going to be interesting is a trading action in Bitcoin on Saturday, right? Because you're not going to, that thing trades around the clock. And I asked the Merc about that, and they were, they said that, they're going to stick with their current clearing procedures and everything. But, if you want to do some raiding, Saturday would be a good time. Spencer, you want to add something?
Also, something that Luke brought up is watch it on Monday or Tuesday, because remember what happened after Thanksgiving? Right, it got that big pop because people all get with their families and their friends, and they all talk about Bitcoin, and then they go home and they buy it.
And all the people who bought it at Thanksgiving are going to be puking it out over Christmas dinner, you think?
Or they're going to be doing the same thing over Christmas, and they're going to be telling all their friends and family, and then the people who weren't there on Thanksgiving, who are now there at Christmas, are going to show up on Tuesday and start buying Bitcoin. So I don't know. Something to keep in mind.
And
I think everybody's going to be talking about over Christmas about
how much money?
nobody. I think it's going to be a lot less people talking about it because everybody, like you said, talked about it over Thanksgiving. They came in, they bought it. You know, they took them a little while to open their accounts. They all bought up December 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. When that coin, what's the name of it? Coinbase? I don't even. What's the name of the main?
Coinbase, and then
and when they were opening 50,000 accounts a day, what were those days? That was all after Thanksgiving.
Yep.
Right. And then they had
all
more.
Those people opening up all those accounts and Bitcoin was trading. And that's when we got in the mania. And that's when we went from like 13 or 10,000 to 20,000 in like days. That was it. That was the top of it all. And 50,000 accounts a day. So all those people who were talking over Thanksgiving were in there buying at 16, 17, 18, 19. I'm going to get rich. I'm going to get rich. I'm going to retire. I'm going to mortgage my house on this. That's what happened. Now they're feeling the pain. It's going to be crickets over Christmas if Bitcoin don't pop back here. Will be by the in the next few days. They won't be talking about Bitcoin nearly as much.
All right. I'm just looking.
Sorry, I got the cold. Texas Linda commenting. I know I'm nasally sounding. At least I don't have the flu anymore.
Okay, look at this. Look at this. I have. Can you guys see it up? Up on the screen.
Good.
Okay.
Yeah. Bringing it up. I'm even making a full screen for myself.
Okay. Thanksgiving was what, the 25th? I can't tell with all these days. What day was Thanksgiving?
The 26th. I don't think we look real fast. I don't even know. Thanksgiving.
Anyways, give us the prices so we can see the run.
Was the 23rd.
Okay. Thanksgiving was the 23rd. I was in 8,000, 2 days later, you're at 9,300. Then you cross 10,000. Hung out at 11,000 for a little bit. That's maybe where we might find some support. And then when they got all their accounts open by the 6th, it went to 14,000, 18,000. Chopped around a little bit, but I bet you see. And let's see when the heaviest volume. Heaviest volume day during that period was December 8th. And that was the day that I sold the volume. I don't even know.
Which was the upside capitulation day. I'm going to call that upside capitulation day. That was the top. And, we've had a couple of days there where, we challenged it, but that was really the number. That's when the site crashed because there was too many people trying to buy. That was it. I mean, hindsight's obviously 2020. Call us all after the fact, but we're calling it a little bit before too because we've been calling it all week. Anyways, let's move on here. We've talked 20 minutes on the topic of the Bitcoin, and let's move on to actual stocks again because eventually we will be talking stocks again. It won't be all crypto. It's just kind of fun to talk about. So move on to poor Nike. Here they are. If it wasn't Crypto Mania, we would talk Nike at 8:01. Nike doesn't even get talked to on a show until 8:21. So 20 minutes into the show. Give us the Nike earnings, Spencer.
Yep, Nike Q2 EPS of 46 cents versus a 40-cent estimate. Sales of 8.6 versus $8.4 billion. So on the surface, a good quarter, but year-over-year growth is just not there. And that is the reason why we are down.
Down $1.50. It got a initial pop. I'll tell you why we're down. Everybody wants to find a fundamental reason. This thing has went from $50 to $65 in a month and a half. That's a huge move for Nike. It's actually close, not even that far off. Think about how bad the retailers. We're not even that far off from the all-time highs on Nike. So we get a little pop last night. They're like, oh yeah, it's good enough. That's not good enough. Remember Bed Bath & Beyond earnings, guys? Triple BY? Those were pretty good too. They turned around, they hit it after the earnings, and then they killed it. And then they'll find a reason after the fact why they didn't like this. No, it just ran up in the report, and now they're taking, when stocks running up, even the retailers, when they're running up, they're hitting those as well. So hard. This needs to get back up over the close, but it keeps leaking here in the pre-market, which makes me think there's more potential downside pain here for Nike.
And if you've been looking at this thing, which I wasn't, over the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sessions, $65. That's where the boys were ganging up on it. 65.19, the high of the move. That's kind of in the rear view mirror now. Pre-market low was 62.62. That coincides with your 13th low of 62.02 and 61.65. But I don't know. You could see a lot more downside action than that today. Through the pre-market low, 62, 62.62. I gave you those two levels. 61.65 looks like a good area. Below that, you got a psychological number like 60.29. Just look at your daily lows. That's what I look at when you have a big move like this. On a pop, man, if this gets you get near the range from yesterday. Could you get a gap fill here at 63.30? That might be a little bit of a blessing if you get to sell there.
I just concerned because Bed Bath & Beyond kind of meandered just down a little bit yesterday. And once it opened in the regular session, the institutions came in and they nailed it down. So I'm just concerned that same thing could happen here in Nike today. So, and it's been leaking for pretty much the entire after-hour session. Besides the first half-an-hour pop, we continue to leak here at Nike. So take out yesterday's low of 63.30, which we already have. But if we open below that, there is some air below, at least to 62, I think.
Oh, minimum
for fun.
Yeah.
And now you think, okay, let's start looking at these other, and there's going to be some, look at Foot Locker. Look at the run the Foot Locker's had. I'm not going to say too much. I'm short Foot Locker. I'm short it because of the Nike earnings. I think Foot Locker could have some follow through here as well. That's all I'll say. But, it's run up here a long ways. And, you have Nike report a pretty good quarter, goes down. I don't know what the continued driver here is going to be for Foot Locker. So from 28 to 48 in a month. I think it's overdone.
Let's just let's go broad. Let's go XRT here. Look at the daily chart on that.
Yeah, it's still hanging. It doesn't look as, but I think, I still say the retailers, you are in that retail season. Sometimes they can get a pop rate in here. This is seasonality for retailers, but Macy's cannot get up over 26. It keeps trying. It can't do it. Kohl's, a lot of these are trying to look toppy. Nordstrom, look at Nordstrom JWM. That 48, that level is huge, going way back. Go way back on Nordstrom, all the way into September, October, even going further back than that. 38 to 48, run up in a month, right at resistance here. Man, if I was in these retailers, and I own 0 retailers right now and actually short some, like I just said, I'd be ringing the register.
I've never seen so many charts in a sector with some similar patterns. Look at Kohl's, 4 highs in the same area. Macy's, 5-6 highs at the $26 area. XRT, 4 highs at the 40, 45, 40 area.
If they take out those highs and start making new highs, then you cover. But right now, low risk shorts, as long as you say, if it starts making new highs, I'm going to get out. I don't want to be short stocks making new highs on the move. But man, you got defined risk here on a lot of these things. Nice setups.
Yeah, very, very nice setups. 825 here. S&P's holding in here, up 0.75 points, 88.50. Let's see it. Riot down 247. Overstock.com down $4 here. So let's just check Long Island iced tea. Spinner was calling for $5 yesterday. Little bit premature.
Spinner's gonna be there, 535.
Spinner's good, man. That was a nice call. Did get under 5, so took a little time. This is when I was bidding it too, Dennis. I was going 14 bid, 15 bid. You didn't hit me. I think I went 16 bid, but no one hit me.
You had 60. Ace had a good call too out on Twitter there. He was saying 15 looked top. He almost got the top perfectly. So nice job to Ace as well. Great call by everybody in our chats. John Dodson making some money out on the way up. Chat did well on Long Island Iced Tea. You got to be in our chat, guys. If you're not, go to premarket.benzinga.com. Join these traders. We have great traders in our chat. And our chat runs all day almost now.
All day and all night. We're going.
These guys are in there 24 hours a day. These guys like Ace and Fuzzy and Texas Linda's in there right now. Oh yeah, we got some great chat.
I want to add one thing.
I think the chat's better than the show.
I want to add one thing before we move on with regards to Overstock. I am going to reach out to the CEO today, Patrick Byrne, and see about getting him on the show. I'm almost positive he would come on.
Why? Why are you so positive?
Do
you know him?
I don't know him, but his colleagues here have interviewed him before, and he seems very eager to talk about his company. So I think we'll be able to get the Overstock.com CEO on, if not next week, then the week after.
Okay, and just a quick preview for next week while Spencer's on vacation. We're going to have Luke Jacoby filling in from him, and Luke has some good fundamental and technical insights, and I'll be running the technical stuff. So if anything goes bad, you could just blame me instead of Luke. But
don't worry, we will, Joel.
I did. I had it all set up. I came in early this morning. I talked with Spencer. We walked through everything. And then he forgot to tell me to uncheck the mute button right as the show started.
I forgot to tell him. Right. Okay. Nike was we had other earnings though, right? We had like 1 or 2 more.
Cintas.
Aren't they the floor mats company?
No, it's the clothing company.
No, it's not, is it? Cintas, CTAS. Are they floor mats?
They're clothes. They're like clothes that like you work
Are
at
they?
hospitals or something like that.
Are they?
They're uniforms.
They're hospital gowns, Joel?
They're uniforms.
We don't know what they are. I traded it probably 100 times throughout my career. I don't know what they are.
Yeah, Tone.
Joel's right though. They are. Like
no, they do. Look, they do mat services. I'm right too. Go to the site. I knew it.
Right.
I knew it. Because
What do
you
they
know what?
do?
When I owned that Quiznos back in the day, I never really told my Quiznos stories too in a long time on the show. Anyways, I got suckered into buying a Quiznos franchise with my one friend who was managing a Subway, and I went 50-50 on him. And anyways, we opened up a Quiznos back, and like this was a side adventure for me back like 2003, and I lost a lot of money in it.
How have you never told that story before?
Quiznos, it's shocking that I lost money at Quiznos. Anyways, I liked the toasted subs and I got suckered into it. But the Cintas were my mat people. I paid those guys like $10 a week to change my floor mats. And then I realized about 6 months in, I was like, what the hell am I paying people $10 a week to change my floor mats? I'll go buy floor mats and buy a vacuum cleaner. So that's how I know Cintas. They were my mat services. And for 6 months, I paid them $10 a week. And I was like, no more of that.
Dennis, can you
just with mat services? They do that too. They do it all.
I can't believe you owned a Quiznos and then it's never come up in conversation before.
You know that, Spencer?
No.
Yeah. I own two. I bought two franchises.
Two Quiznos?
You want to know how much they scammed me? So anyway, and this was in Windsor, Ontario. So there wasn't one in Windsor, Ontario. I went to the trade show. Hortons. My buddy who managed a Subway, he's like, I'll run the thing. I'll do it all, right? He's like, I just don't have the money to do it myself. And he was my friend. I was like, all right, I'll go 50-50. I went and tried subs. Like, good sub, sure. I'll go 50-50. You're going to run the thing. So anyway, so I buy a franchise and then, they're like, well, he really, and I buy a second one myself. Because I'm like, I went 50-50. I bought a second one myself. I opened the store. It takes like a year and a half to open the store. But originally they told me, this is what the Quiznos tells me. Oh, we see Windsor. We see 2 right now. And we see 5, maybe 5 to 6 in the long run. The next year they sold 10 stores in Windsor. They completely just basically lied to me. But
how many are open now?
In Windsor, I don't know. I think the whole franchise is bankrupt. There's a few still legacy stores open. I think maybe operating on their own, but yeah, it didn't work out.
Didn't I tell you never to go into the restaurant business?
I never go, and I'm never leaving the stock market again with my main business. So I never did open my second store because the first store we actually did okay for about 6 months until they opened them all around me. Every time they opened another store, then my sales would drop 10%. And then they did road construction, and then everybody else started toasting their subs, and it was over. So we had toasted subs, and then Subway got a toaster, and then we were over.
You got toasted?
I got toasted.
Did you actually make the sandwiches?
I went in there. I even went to Quiznos sandwich school and learned how. Isn't that crazy? Because the worst thing is, and Tommy, he sometimes listens to the show. The worst thing is Tommy got another job at the bank and said, before we opened the store, he got a good job at the bank. And then he's like, I don't want it. So we had to go hire a manager. So my buddy didn't even run it. I bought it for him to run. He's like, I want to, I love making sandwiches. I love doing it all. And then he ended up being a mortgage specialist at the bank. He's making too much money doing that. He's like, I don't want to go work at a sub shop. So we had to hire a manager. So everybody stole all the profits from us too, because obviously I'm trading stocks. He's working at the bank. So when the cat's away, the mice will play. And the mice played. We lost like $10,000 in food a year just from kids giving all their friends free sandwiches. Putting cameras in. We had a staged armed robbery there. All kinds of crap went on at our store. I could do a whole hour show just on the things I did wrong with that Quiznos franchise.
All right. We got Kenny Glick coming on.
Should we do the CTAS earnings real quick?
You just want 4 minutes.
Oh boy, that was probably the digression of the year so far.
Okay, real quick, I'll read the numbers real fast. $1.31 versus $1.27. Sales of 1.6 versus 1.59 billion. So a slight beat. Both for the Q2 earnings. Fiscal year guidance EPS was raised 9 cents, and sales guidance was also raised a hair. So increased guidance.
This is a thing.
I wonder how we got in the Quiznos talk. Cintas, the mat company. It's trading up $3. I don't know what to say. It's the stock is, if we just go to the monthly, is this all-time highs?
Yeah, by far.
Hard to short stocks and make it all-time highs.
Yeah, exactly.
Although stock kind of ran up in the report.
Let's take a look. Pre-market action got up to 168.85. That was snuffed out real quickly. Hanging here at 163.50. There's like even no relevance. The only thing I could say is if you go into retreat now, today, or whenever, its former all-time high was 161. That could act as support. And to make a new all-time closing high, it will need to close above 159.88, which is look poised to do. But thin stock here, high price. I'm not sure how many traders will be going at it in Cintas.
If you want your little blockchain stock of the day here, and I don't think it's going to be it. It's a Canadian one again, and I don't know if they trade over here, but I've got Victory Square Technologies, symbol VST. I believe that's in Canada. Anyways, so this is coming from the Newswire, Global Newswire, a multifaceted financial news. This came out at 8:30. A multifaceted news and publishing company today announces the publication of an editorial featuring Victory Square Technologies, a client of NNW and venture builder that creates funds and empowers entrepreneurs, predominantly focused on blockchain technology.
VSQTF is the OTC ticker.
VSQTF is what it trades as here, which those are hard to trade this early in the morning. Anyways, I do see, because it's over the counter, I see $2.92. So $2.90. So that's your little somebody who's trying to profit off of the blockchain news of the day. But these over-the-counter ones don't move nearly as well. You need the listed ones like LTA. That thing would always be up 200%.
And let's see here, 8:34. Do you want to take a break here and go bring in Kenny?
Let's take a break and grab Kenny.
Okay, sounds good.
Be right back, folks.
Welcome back, traders and investors, to Benzinga's Pre-Market Prep, brought to you by Benzinga Blockchain. I'm your co-host, Joel Elconin, along with Dennis Dick and Spencer Israel, and we are joined on the line by Kenny Glick, owner and creator of HitTheBid.com, one of the funniest men on Wall Street. Kenny, how you doing today?
All right. Thanks for having me on again. What's going on, fellas?
Not too much. I just want to tell a quick story. I was checking the chat last night, or around 7-8 o'clock, and I see the one pops into our chat, and I'm thinking, I don't think Moses is a member of our chat. That must be Kenny. And sure enough, Kenny was checking out making sure the chat function was working, joining us. So Kenny, glad that you participate. And I guess we just gotta get your take here on the cryptocurrencies. I'm sure you got a good story or two from people on the street or people in the chat. What have you been involved in this Bitcoin mania?
Actually, yeah. It's a crazy story. I just met with the guy that he's still in Bitcoin for about $60, and he was in my chat room back in, gotta be at whenever Bitcoin was $60, begging me to embrace it as something that's real. And I think Bitcoin had already crashed twice when there was a mania, And he's like, no, we'll let it get through its growing pains, and it's going to be fantastic, and it'll probably go to a couple $1,000, you know, a coin within the next couple of years. And here we are. So,
Wow.
Yeah, he got me into Ripple the other day at, you know, just under 70 cents. And, you know, I figured if I'm going to invest in Bitcoin or any kind of cryptocurrency, let's go with the one that makes me laugh. So I'm a big Dead fan. So when I heard there was one called Ripple, Jerry Wood let me down. I'm in, give me the Ripple. And Eddie Murphy was talking about Ripple in one of the stand-up acts when we were kids, you know, Ripple. So I was like, all right, get me into Ripple, whatever it is. Yes, I'm in. So far I was up about 100% at one point, I heard. But again, with these things, it's like you take $1,000 and you say, all right, I'm willing to lose it all, and let's own some Ripple. So I heard I was up big, and now I'm gave back about 20 or 30%. I don't really watch it. I'm hearing that they're pulling back or something. I don't know.
So you don't follow these cryptocurrencies very closely, then, Kenny?
Well, I'm
I mean, how can you not? If you're on Twitter, it's like every other tweet I see on my Twitter account, somebody talking about Bitcoin.
All right. Well, let's translate it into the world that we know. There are obviously we are now in 1999 parallel universe. That's why I call myself the one. This is just a matrix, and now we just have another craze. It was .com, and then it was PBLIs and HGSI, and then gene therapy, and then they had the rare earth metals, which you couldn't live without.
Oh yeah, forgot about that one.
Which one was that?
Superconductors, right? So now
the
we got
metals.
Bitcoin and blockchains. Yeah. So, you know, if I could have shorted some of these, I would have. I found the LFIN to be hysterical because the CEO's coming out saying, I don't know why our stock's worth more than $5, and it still went up 17 points the next day. So I think I think finally we're catching up to reality right now. Yeah, I'm old now. I own, you know, Twitter, Alibaba, and Snap and AMD and US Steel. I feel left out of the party. But, you know, I wanted to punch Overstock in the face because I thought Overstock had gone out of business about 17 years ago. I thought it was the wannabe eBay that failed. And next thing you know, it's a cryptocurrency stock that went from $20 to $100. So I don't know what to make of this. I don't like it. And I'm old. That's what it really comes down to. I mean, what a curmudgeon is, what I would be best defined as a curmudgeon now. I wanted to short all these stocks. And if you kids are out there, swear. That's the short. Because my God,
I just said it. I just said it the last 2 days. Kenny's on board with me, man. I just said it. It's going to break below 35, and I think the party is over.
Oh, it's been over. You know why it's over? And everybody wants to know, when can I sell? When's the bull market going to end? I'm in a bowling alley, and we're at a charity event for my son, blah, blah, blah. And I'm meeting some new parents, and we're talking about what we do. I'm like, I'm a trader. I do a show, and I have a website, blah, blah, blah. She's like, you're into Wall Street? My favorite stock is this SQ. Is it, lady? Great. Why do you own it? Oh, it's something about Bitcoin, and they do card. I was like, okay, I better sell that stock. And that was at Thanksgiving. And the awful part is this last 100 shares is like a dagger in my eye every morning when I see this stock. Because if you haven't noticed, kids, if you guys like technical analysis, 17 out of 18 days since Thanksgiving, this stock has gapped up and gone red at one point during the day. It's over, Johnny. The woman in the bowling alley killed our stock, and Kramer killed it too. It's just
Holy cow.
Some of these, we're not going to know what stock is worth anything in a week or two, but I don't know. I don't know what to make of any of this.
I will say Kramer is square all wrong. Kramer, and he sometimes gets some stuff right. He makes calls now, but man, he is pumping the Square Talking Square so much as it was going up. And maybe it's a little bit early, but now, he's getting it, I don't know. He's not saying it. Somebody asked about him last night, and he said, I just don't know. Like, because he knows he has been bullish the damn thing here, and it's been going straight down on him now. But, anyways, Kramer, gets some stuff right too, but he hasn't got Square right.
And neither.
Sure. I mean, everybody gets some right, gets some wrong. It's just, I think that most of these stocks, your Riots and your LFANs and your XNets, and there's about 20 or 30 of them that have just taken off. I would say, and you probably guys agree with me, 90% of them will be penny stocks within 8 months, maybe 16, 18 months. We'll never hear from any of these companies ever again, right?
Kenny, I got to talk to you here just about the overall market. When Dennis and I were out there at the Traders Expo, watching you just absolutely tear up the dance floor and just be an unbelievable entertainer. Actually, Dennis got in a little groove in there too. You were talking, I don't know when was it? It was February. I don't know where the Dow was, but you came up with your different predictions and your different targets, and you never did send me a Dow 24K hat or anything like that. Where are you now? I mean, you've been making these predictions. Year end 2018. What hat? I mean, are you actually ordering Dow 30K hats, or you're gonna start peeling back on those?
No, we skipped the 30K. We're at now 40,000 hats now. The Dow was at my prediction already. I predicted it was going to be 24,635.43 on Christmas. So I'm still 100 points over my prediction, but I'm still hanging with the diamonds. You know, I have call spreads for March. I'm thinking, you know, we might get to 25,000 by the, you know, probably land right on 25,000 to end the year. Nice round number. But as soon as this Bitcoin mania subsides, and if that doesn't hurt the market, and we still don't have any volatility coming into the market, I think we're going to have an exact replica of what we've been sitting in. We're waiting for this amazing market correction to come, which everybody's planning to buy, right? So if everyone's planning to buy this great opportunity that's going to come any day now, then we're never going to go down. We have to convince everybody across the world, across the planet, across the universe that we're never really going to go down, and then we possibly can have a sell-off. I think we get one in January. We'll have a nice one in the first couple of weeks of April for some tax selling, and then June 28th. Between June 28th and July 15th this year, that is where I have my my sell-off, the big one, if you will, the one that's going to actually last for more than 9 hours, the one that's going to last for more than, you know, a day or so. And what happens after that, my friends? We probably rally for the next 5 or 6 years.
So long term, you're still bullish.
Still bullish, and there's still nowhere else to put your money. Let them raise interest rates to 5%, so some of my cash can make some, you know, some ducats. But short term, it's still the same trade. Like you were talking about Nike, it was a short last night. Once this thing couldn't hold the bid in the aftermarket, short it. You want to play it, you know, this whole market's all about defining what you want to do. You want to be a short-term trader, or you want to be a long-term trader? Long-term trader, buy the diamonds, buy the Qs, and I'll see you in 4.5 years. Put some stops on it. And if you're a short-term trader, just trade these, you know, these artificial pops that roll over like an SQ every morning. Has been a short. Twitter obviously has been a buy. US Steel actually, you know, is fantastic, even though it might take a pause here. But, you know, define what you want to do. Long-term, still bullish. Short-term, just trade the VWAPs and the reversals, and that's what we've been doing. And if you guys do go to my hit the bid website, where we're taking it down, we did take it down. We're restructuring, reforming it. We're going to call it blockchain hit the bid foreign.
Of course. What's taking you so long?
And then we're going to go public. And I'm going to bring out 500,000 shares at $1, and I'm going to own 490,000 of the float. So then the stock could go to $1 to 90. Then I'll go on to CNBC and complain that I don't have any idea what's going on. So it's going to be fantastic. It's all set up for 2018.
All right, Kenny, long term, you're still bullish here. And, you know, you say buy the indexes. But if you could pick 3 stocks just to buy and sit on in your investment portfolio, not look at, just 3 stocks, give us those 3 stocks that you'd sit on for the next 2 to 3 years.
That you don't order young. That you don't order.
Or no, you can own them if you want.
Okay. Dennis is being easy on you.
Sure.
Yeah, I still have to go with Alibaba, especially because it's taking a snooze right now. The earnings came out, stock did nothing. Then they had their day where the entire country buys something and the stock did nothing. So we're trapped between 162 and 187.50 right now. Let this thing consolidate for 6 months. And once it breaks out, everybody will be talking about Alibaba again. Once it gets over 200, everybody will be rah Alibaba again. Nobody likes it when it's chopping around and doing nothing. Once it breaks 200, it'll be at 250. And once it breaks 250, the stock will be a $500 stock, whether it be 3 to 5 years from now. That's one of my core holdings. And until this thing breaks down and convinces me I'm wrong, still long the Alibaba, still loving the Alibaba, still loving the Twitter. Been in the Twitter since, 18, 19. Loving this action right now, whether it be a takeover or not. I still think, I don't want to start getting political, but once this guy's still in power, he makes Twitter more part of Americana than ever.
Yep.
And if I had to choose my dead cat stock, which is, I'm loving it. I'm loving the VRX. I know that it's a turnaround. It's not my favorite thing. We're in from, 1750. And that's my stock. If it rolls back over, breaks under 1750, I might have to give up on VRX. But if you can get a stock at 2150 and get it into, our target's only $32, $33 on it. Hey, if you make 10 points on a $21 stock, I guess that still qualifies as a decent investment. Obviously in the world of Ripple and Bitcoin, that's not so awesome. But 10 more points on a $21 stock, we'll take it. And those are what I got. I got the Twitter, the VRX, and the Alibaba. So I'm just waiting for AMD to wake up again.
All right, we've been on the line with Kenny Glick. He's the owner and creator of HitTheBid.com. Kenny, we'll have to talk about that restructuring plan there and what you got going on in 2018. Always great to have you on. You bring comic relief to trading, great stories. Looking forward to having you on again here early in 2018. Kenny Glick.
Sure thing, guys. Are you coming in on February? Because I got my dancing shoes on.
We Dennis, are we going in for that again? Do you think we can handle another couple nights out with Kenny?
I don't know if my liver can handle it.
Okay. All right, Kenny. We'll be talking to you soon. Thank you very much.
All right, guys. Good luck today, and Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and I'll see you in the new year, guys. Good luck.
All right, S&P futures still in the green here by 3/4 of a point at 26.8850. Some muted trading action here. Square in the red by 58 cents, and Riot overstock in the red. Dennis, let's any imbalances to talk about today, or what?
There's a few. Okay. Alibaba, Kenny just mentioned 177,000 to buy. So there continues to be pesky buyers in Alibaba, despite the weakness, that you've seen in the last couple of weeks really in the stock. It's had some buyers on the open there. So there's some big institutional money that's still betting along with Kenny there. Maybe those are Kenny's bids there, but 177,000 to buy here in Alibaba. So that's significant. Bank of America, 207,000 to buy. Again, the banks look strong here. The banks have been on a run. Bank of America approaching a key number.
Oh, 30.
$30. I can see right in the book. Right now, I can see 600,000 shares there, which is obviously more volume than the entire pre-market session. So it's not opening over 30 unless some major news comes out the next 30 minutes or 40 minutes. But, that being said, if it can take it out in the regular session and opens up, that's a key major psychological number. And even from order flow perspective, just a huge number, $30. All the other banks too, they're all near the highs. So banks been strong.
All right, and let's see. Anything in Twitter today? That's been bouncing around here a little bit.
A little choppy.
Yeah, a little choppy. 25.56. You hit that the other day. Couple upgrades. Man, I wish this thing would give me a pullback here, a real decent pullback.
You're long it.
I'm long it. I'm long it long term. I'm not. Yeah, I know. It's just.
Look at you complain.
I'm
not even long it at all. I'm not complaining.
I lost. How many state dinners did I lose to you on Twitter? Going
Two,
down.
I think.
Yeah,
both of them.
Yeah,
and a couple lunches in there too. You weren't good on your side bets on Twitter, even though you make money on it trading it. Though it's funny. You just can't side bet Twitter.
Oh, man, and I could have gotten you on no, but you were backing off those. Right, anything from the chat here, kind of a quiet morning here. If there's any particular setups you want to take a look at or any stocks, long or short term?
There is one analyst note that I want to talk about.
One analyst is working today. Okay.
One analyst is working today. And it's,
what do you got?
It's a note from Jefferies on food stocks. So here's what Jefferies did today. They upgraded Dunkin', Texas Roadhouse, and Red Robin, and they downgraded Shake Shack, Wingstop, and Bojangles. So I'm not sure why. I don't have the note in front of me, but that's what they did.
Downgraded Shake Shack?
Downgraded Shake Shack, downgraded Bojangles, downgraded Wingstop.
Wingstop doesn't have as much action, but Shake Shack does, and I don't know what to say here. You're downgrading on Shake Shack today. It's trading down $1.50. It's got to hold this 44.90, and that's right where it is in the pre-market here. Through that, you got a lot of air below. I'm scared on this one. This is something that's been kind of waiting and wanted, a street opinion or some type of catalyst that's just kind of been meandering for 3 or 4 days here. Now you get the catalyst at the downside. If it does indeed breach that 44.90 support, you don't have anything really until 43.20, and then you could even say all the way down to like the low 40s. So there's air below here in Shake Shack.
Yeah, 44.90 was your low on the 14th, and 40 that was buffeted by 45.02. And then Dennis is right, 43.20 and 41.58. So there's some stocks to take a look at or some levels to take a look at on the downside. Tony H is asking about Micron MU for those putting it on your charts at home. And this one, they faded that report a little bit, Dennis.
It was a great report too, so that's concerning. Yeah. When you can't rally on a great report, that is concerning. Now there could be pops in here. There is some value in here. I mean, it's still got a nice dividend of well, actually, Micron has a dividend, doesn't it? My system's not working right now. It shows me 0, but I'm pretty sure it does. I'm going to check elsewhere. I'm pretty sure it does have a dividend.
Spencer, check that out.
Oh, maybe it doesn't. I thought Micron had a dividend.
Tech stock with a dividend.
So a lot of them do. A lot of all the old school ones did, like Intel, Applied Materials has one. No, maybe Micron doesn't. I thought it did.
The open and big keys on this one, you had that 43.98 close, and then on the day after the report, opened up at 46.65. Big pop, but only went another 15 cents before it ended up. Still closed up a couple sticks on the day at 45.75. Couldn't hold that closing area, though, on Thursday, 45.58, traded down to 44.35. Getting a little pop here in the pre-market. We're filling that gap from earnings day. Need to get to 44.34 to fill that gap. So we missed it by a penny after that, but your low the day before earnings report, 2 days, right at the $43 area. 42.99 and 43.30. So if we go into reverse, make sure you keep an eye on the 43. And if you want to go long this, man, you want it to hold that close. It's green right now by 11 cents and also hold yesterday's low at 44.35.
I don't know, Micron. I just don't like that it's going down on good news. So I think it's, it's had a hell of a year here. I think there's some profit taking still happening. So a little concerned on Micron.
Twitter, for who's asking about Twitter, at Texas Linda. But just real quick, Twitter, when I was talking about that with Kenny, you do have a level that needs to hold here in Twitter. You are trading up 3 cents at 25.08. But watch out, folks. Double bottom here at 24.70 area. 69 was your low on Wednesday, 70 on Thursday. So it needs to hold that, or else you got perhaps a buck drop down to 3-day low at 23.92. VRX, a stock mentioned here by Mr. Glick. Nice run up here. This has a good area of support. Trading down a few cents here in the pre-market, but you want to make sure if you're trading this one from the long side, you keep an eye on the trio of lows between 20.65 and 20.86. And Wednesday's low was right in the middle there, 20.76. High of the move was made yesterday, 21.83. So I'm not sure. VRX has not been up in this area in a long time. 24.30. That was your high back in November.
Just jump over here to a few other ones that are on my list as well. You know what? Let's show it a little bit of life if you want to comb the ditches and see what hasn't moved. GoPro, GPRO. It's trying like hell to hold this $8. And I had an okay little trade. Yes, it got up to 8.26. It's trading up a little bit here in the pre-market. I don't wonder, everybody thinks it's going to be your classic. It's kind of in the opposite of what you think. We haven't seen, the stocks that, you'd think get tax loss selling go down much here. As long as it can hold here, you can maybe squeeze a few people, and I think there's some people that are banking there's going to be some tax loss selling here. And I'm not saying long term. I'm just saying for a short term trade here. It's showing, where your out is. If it starts breaking down below 7.84, I'd get out. But if you can pick it up around 8.10, you risk yourself 25 cents. Maybe squeeze them a bit. What do you think?
I mean, possible.
Still pretty ugly, but it's trying to hold support.
You need some kind of catalyst,
Do you, though?
Upgrade, yeah.
What's the short interest?
A
lot of people banking this thing's going down just because it's going to be tax loss selling, which, it's a good, valid argument, but I'm going to look. What's the short interest on this thing? See if we can 26%, pretty high.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why. I'm feeling a little bit.
Where are you getting at? Where are you getting?
I trade this stock pretty good. It's one of those stocks. There's some stocks that trade well. There's some stocks that don't trade well. I always feel like I got a pretty good feel on GoPro.
Did you
So
go to?
I don't know. I've been nibbling. I'm just starting to nibble in here. As long as it, doesn't take up the low. I know where my out is. If it starts making new lows on the move, I'm absolutely getting out. $7.84.
Do you go to short?
783. I'm out.
You go to shortsqueeze.com. I got short percent of float 28.26.
You're arguing with me for 1%.
Okay. Oh, I thought you said 48.
Give me a target. Give me a target on the upside. I'm asking for a friend.
On GoPro?
Yeah.
Oh, $9 maybe tops.
Okay.
So I'm not saying you're not going to get rich on this one.
That doesn't help me.
Day trade.
That doesn't help me.
The people who are jumping, the guy, if your friend bought at 50, he's in trouble. I don't know if they're in there, they got all this other stuff. I don't know how well the companies do. I just say from a technical perspective, it's trying a little bit here. So it's trying to show some. I wrote it down as an interesting one, just to kind of play around with a bit.
Yeah, it's something to do here on Christmas trading. Spinner is mentioning the coal ETF, and that's probably moving up in tandem with some of these.
What's that? What's symbol on that?
KOL.
Oh, good symbol.
Yeah,
I don't ever trade this.
Yeah, it looks like it's kind of thin, but boy,
that's why I probably don't trade it.
It's tripled since 2016. Let me see if we can see. I don't know if I see 11 up days in a row in this thing, but high in the move here. If you get the chance at 1585, right up there, settled right near it. So another breakout. Yeah, traded 51,000 shares yesterday. All right.
All those coal plants that have had to, pump up the energy to service the mining of all these Bitcoins.
Of course, exactly.
So Bitcoin's going down, not going to mine as much. Look out.
All right. Well, we got a minute left, so we got to find out what Spencer is going to be doing on his vacation next week.
I'm going to Boston, and then I'm going to New Jersey and New York. So East Coast trip, but I won't be seeing Kenny Glick, unfortunately.
Okay.
I'll be around Kenny Glick, but I won't be with him.
All right, be careful there when you're leaving because there's some storms coming out that way.
I'm not leaving until Sunday, so I'll be gone all next week. Of course, we're gone on Monday, of course,
exactly.
For the holiday. So Merry Christmas to everyone.
We'll be back here, right? Wow,
Christmas. I know, isn't that funny how that
snuck
works
up
out?
On us.
Yeah, time, it just seems to move and never seems to quite stop. So we're out here on Monday. We're back on Tuesday. Joel, Dennis, Luke, Jacoby will be taking over in my chair for the week, at least every so often. But hope everyone has a Merry Christmas. Hope you all have a Happy New Year. I'll pop into the chat one day next week just to see what's going on. Make sure you guys haven't burned the place down yet. But yep, that's it for our show today. Hope you guys have had a good one. You check out our podcast. You know the drill: iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, YouTube. And that's it. So have a good rest of your day, folks. So Joel and Dennis will be back with you on Tuesday. Have a good one.
One joke. Hey, are you still on?
I'm still here. What's up?
One joke here from Stock Cats. Follow him on Twitter. He's always making me laugh at Stock Cats. Just to close with this. Dad at Thanksgiving. Help me get Coinbase installed so I can buy this Bitcoin. Dad at Christmas. This is your fault.
I just saw that pop up.
All right. On that note, we're going to leave you guys. Have a good one.